Hello. Happy Monday, everyone.
Happy Monday. Another week.
Welcome. Well, yes, it is another week, but it is our first post-Halloween Monday. Is our,
It's
our like the
weird.
Halloween season is done. Uh, did you Halloween to the bitter end? Like, did you consider Halloween season to end like on Sunday or Saturday? Like,
Well,
Universal kept Halloween
no.
Horror Nights going? No.
I stayed up
You're
on
done on the 31st.
October 31st and I decorated it in the night because I wanted to have it ready to go November 1st. So, yes, I did that. And then when I saw people, I knew the HHN was extended, and then I saw friends there, and I was like, I almost like gasped. It was like, it's still going?
Still going, though apparently those last two nights were just dead, like short lines for everything. So, let's
That's
see who
great.
we've got. Hey, we got our friend Michael Bingham checking
Yay.
in. What's going on, Michael? Thank you for being here with us every Monday. And as always, in Derico's corner, Blossom and Michelangelo. Hi, guys. Um, and Tolga checking in. Hello. Uh, Aaron Murphy wants to say hey to Carly. What about me? Oh, and Brian Sager already misses David S.
Me
Pumpkins,
too.
the breakout hit of Halloween Horror Nights Orlando, and as well as Dr. Oddfellow. I think people have been asking for a good new icon for years, and they definitely got one this year,
Oh,
Dr.
I love
Oddfellow.
Dr. Oddfellow, and him in the scare zones. Oh, chef kiss. It was perfect.
Yeah, flashback to the year that they let everyone into the Stranger Things house during the day on Stranger Things Day, which is today.
What was it, like
Um,
2018 was the last time they
I
did that?
think I think yeah, was that for the Stranger Things 2
I
house?
can't
I'm
remember.
not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, that was a nice bonus, but I think we put Halloween Horror Nights to bed for the
I'm
year.
glad, yes. But we're ready. So many
We are
treats.
ready. We are ready, and what do you say? Are we ready to kick off the recording of this show? All
Yes.
right, let's do this thing in three, two.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 216 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I'm Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what is going on in our own lives. Carly, how have you been this week?
I have been great. I just got back from Key West. If you are
Uh,
a Disney fan and a Disney food fan, Shay Spence, one of the greatest in our community, got married to his lovely husband. It was the best wedding. Follow him on TikTok because he posts the most insane recipes. And it's like, I don't love to cook, but it makes me actually want to cook. It was lovely. And I am now getting ready to head to Jollywood this week. So
oh, yes.
I am hyped, nervous because I want to do everything. If you saw the entertainment schedule, it's wild what they're packing into one night.
Yeah, I am very jealous. I can't wait to hear all about it. I'm packing for my trip to Hong Kong. I
Woo-hoo!
will not be here next week. Because I will be in another continent. But I'll be sure to tell you all about that when I get back. I did have a little taste of Disney this week. I made a final visit to the Food and Wine Festival at Epcot last night. And I gotta say, the hidden gem of the Food and Wine Festival is that Florida Blue Lounge in the Moroccan
Mhm.
Pavilion, tucked way in the back. No one knows about it. It's a gorgeous room. There are free drinks. If you get there in time, you get a free wristband for the concert, the Beat concert. And I gotta say, Sheila E., a percussionist and a singer who performed with Prince back in the day, absolutely killed it. That was the liveliest concert I think I've ever seen in American Gardens. Like everyone up on
Wow.
their feet. Her, jumping off the stage out into the audience. It was crazy. Great show and good way to end my food and wine season this year.
Oh, yes. And now we can get ready for Candlelight, where they have like knocked it out of the park. It's like half A-list this year. It's
Oh
really
yeah,
incredible lineup.
excellent lineup, and it's definitely going to be. Speaking of busy, last night was the night. I did not realize it before I showed up when the Run Disney runners had their private after party in
Oh,
Epcot.
yes.
So that was about the busiest I've seen that park. The line for the cheese soup at the Food and Wine Station literally stretched back and forth and around to the pavilion. I've never seen that in my life. Uh,
Wow. I heard Duffy had a really long line too, which no surprise there.
I believe it. I believe it. Well, without any further ado, let us go ahead and jump right into the news in the queue. Well, you were just talking about meeting characters at Epcot. If you have a wish to meet the star of Disney's newest animated film, it is granted. You can meet Asha from Disney's Wish right now at Walt Disney World in Epcot, and very soon you'll be able to meet her in Disneyland. As of
Very
November
cool.
1st, she is now meet and greeting right in her gazebo at the edge of World Showcase. Pluto was kicked to the curb. He's been sent over to the International Gateway, but that little gazebo across from Disney Traders that's kind of between heading towards the Odyssey and Mexico, that is where you will find her.
And you know what? I think that was actually where Duffy met way back in the day when he used to briefly meet at Epcot.
Yep. I
It's a
think you
great
are
little
absolutely
spot.
right. Yeah, it's a great spot, and you're probably going to want to line up early. She's going to be popular. On her first day, she showed up around 9:30 a.m., and she meets intermittently throughout the day. She's got to take a break. So,
She's
you might
busy. She has
little
a movie. Yeah.
yeah, you gotta invest a little bit of time, but you can check the My Disney Experience app on the day of your visit for the set times. And on our YouTube channel, we have a full video of what the experience looks like.
Very cool. I haven't seen the movie yet, obviously, but I think I'll be hyped for this character experience once I do see it.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to, it's sort of like the Exorcist house at HHN. I couldn't get into it because it came out before the movie. So
Yeah.
I need to, buy into it. And then, yeah, I'll be down.
Well, if you aren't already hyped for Wish, you need a little backstory. Asha is an optimistic dreamer and the leader in the making. She cares about the people of Rosas and is proud to live in the Kingdom of Wishes. And she's excited to celebrate with everyone the warmth and wonder of her home. So this is one of several characters that we've seen come to Epcot lately. We got Figment returning to Imagination Pavilion. Mickey and Minnie have showed up outside or at the lobby of the Pixar Short Festival over in Imagination, and Moana is meeting outside her walk through the Journey of Water.
Very exciting. Yeah, we're finally, Epcot's coming back,
Yes, can't wait for the construction walls to finally come down around the center of the park. Hopefully, sometime next few weeks, ready for the December crowds. Beginning November 22nd, if you are out in Anaheim, you can meet Asha at Disneyland Park in the Fantasy Fair area. She's going to be in the courtyard right outside of Royal Hall. And if you show up after sunset, it sounds like her friend Star is going to pop up to illuminate the area with a magical glow.
Very cool.
Yep.
Very, very cool.
So the film is... Oh, I'm sorry. Asha is also going to be appearing at Walt Disney Studios Park in Paris starting in late November, but we don't have a specific date on that. You can get a glimpse of her as one of the 543 Disney characters included in that short film that we've talked about, Once Upon a Studio. That's on Disney Plus right now, and you can watch a link to the trailer to the film on our website.
It does look very good.
Yeah, it's, they have been leaning away from the more hand-drawn animation style in recent years. And I know this is probably a mix of hand-drawn and CGI, because everything has some CGI involved these days. But I've really been digging the films that have come out lately that are kind of a hybrid. The new
Right.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, the Spider-Verse films that kind of cross that barrier between computer-generated and hand-drawn. I'm really looking forward to, if nothing else, the art style of this film.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a really cool stylistic choice. I'm glad that you mentioned Ninja Turtles. That was so cool.
Oh, watched that the
Yeah,
other night,
love that.
and I just love how, like, when there's light sources, the god rays are like squiggly cartoon lines, like someone hand drew on the frames. I love it.
They did such a great job with it.
Yeah. Next up, in Disneyland, we have a full look at the brand new Adventureland Treehouse. I am sad that I just missed the opening of this. Officially opens to the public on November 10th. But they've released some great walkthrough videos and lots of information about this new version of the treehouse that goes back to the original version of the treehouse inspired by Walt Disney's Swiss Family Robinson.
Yes, November 10th is going to be a busy one. If you are attempting to go out there, it is also the kickoff of the holidays.
Packed day in the
Disneyland
park.
Resort. There is incredible food. They released the foodie guide. So if you Godspeed and may the force be with
Thoughts
you.
and prayers to all those bloggers.
Yeah.
And everyone else, just give it a day or
Right.
two. It'll still
And
be
it's
there.
just, that walkway over there is just so tight already. So I'm sure it's going to be like a massive, whatever you have to get through. It's going to be crazy.
It will be a cluster, but it will be not as bad as it used to be, because the biggest part of this project was removing the entrance, which had been added when it was Tarzan, which was basically a giant tree trunk in the middle of the walkway. That's gone. So the treehouse is a little bit more compact, but it's also gotten back the water wheel, the working water wheel that powers all of these different gadgets that we see throughout the treehouse as you walk up and down.
Yeah, I'm definitely, I love all the different theme rooms. I think the father's room is the most interesting to me because he's like the inventor. So there's going to be all sorts of gadgets and gizmos and whatnot. So I think that's going to be really cool to see.
Yeah, apparently Dad is in charge of the kitchen, which is on the ground floor. So if you are having issues with stairs, you can still experience some of this, including his art studio, the kitchen that's got all sorts of automated gadgets, and my favorite part of this whole thing, which is Jane the ostrich.
Yes.
It's this animatronic ostrich. It's just the head, and it's kind of behind a fence, but the way it bobs around is so natural and so comical. You got to check out the videos of this. In addition, like you mentioned, there's rooms upstairs for the other family members. It is kind of interesting that they don't show any pictures of the family members, and they don't give them any names. They're just mother, father,
Yes.
son, and daughter.
Yeah.
So I guess that you can sort of put your own interpretation of what these folks look like. But if you remember the original Swiss Family Treehouse and the Swiskapoka song that played nonstop,
Nonstop.
it's back. There is this really cool player piano, this organ in Mother's music room that plays itself, Swiskapoka, all day, all night.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop it. We've also got an astronomer's loft for the daughter with her handmade telescopes, and that is where you're going to find the biggest reference to SEA, the
Mhm.
Society of Explorers and Adventurers, which ties all the Disney Adventurelands together throughout the world. Um, I don't know if anyone has gotten a really forensic close-up, Blade Runner style examination of what is on the text, but apparently there is a letter from a member of the SEA to the daughter. So someone can super zoom in on that and interpret that. I'm sure Disney geeks everywhere will be happy.
Oh, yes. I mean, I love these touches, but they are, like you said, very subtle, very
Oh
easy
yeah,
to miss. It's always like a little writing on a box, a letter
yeah.
on a wall somewhere.
Bring
So you
bring your
really get to
bring
try.
your binoculars and your
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes magnifying glass. Um, I do really love they're not you know, AA 1000s or whatever Hondo Naka is, but the simple animatronics that they have, especially this monkey that's swinging back and forth and flipping the sign to say "Feed the monkey" in the
Yeah.
brothers' room with their collection of plants and animals. That's really cute. A lot of you know nice kinetic things, little details to notice. And I am always a big proponent that, yes, we need the e-tickets in the park. We need the big roller coasters, but parks need more C tickets and D tickets, little walk-through exhibits, little things that soak up people, that
People heaters. Yep.
takes, distract you so you don't just feel like you're running from one queue to another queue for just one, 2-minute ride. These are the kind of things that break up the day and provide those little memorable intimate moments that keep people coming back to a theme park as opposed to going to an amusement park
Right.
and doing the rides once and leaving.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Um,
no, I mean, this took a long time, but I am really happy
took
with what
twice as long to make this to make the whole tree in the first place, to make the whole park in the first place,
we're gonna
practically.
get Epic Universe first.
Exactly. But I'm glad they took their time and it looks great.
Yeah, it
So
looks great. I'm
bravo
excited
to the
to see it.
Imagineering team, and I can't wait to see it in person. Um, In more Disney news, we've got new details for Luminous, the Symphony of Us at Epcot, which is the new nighttime spectacular debuting on December 5th. And I will say I am a little more excited for this show, having seen and heard some concept art, some samples of the music, and having a breakdown of what the show is going to be about.
Yes, I kind of mentally tapped out of nighttime spectaculars at Epcot, after Illuminations, Reflections of Earth, and then everything else that has come since. So it's hard to get me, back into it. But when they did release some of the soundtrack, love Catherine McPhee,
Yes.
that got me a little, a little enticed.
Yes, Catherine McPhee and singer-songwriter Shalia are two of the talents that are contributing to the soundtrack, which is going to include two brand new songs composed specifically for this, plus new arrangements of some classic Disney songs. And I'm telling you right now, I know exactly which part of the show is going to wreck me every single time. We've got an opening about parenthood that includes "You'll Be in My Heart" from Tarzan. We've got a romantic section with "So Close" from Enchanted. Nice to see Disney giving a nod to Enchanted. They don't. But then we've got the Lost section, and as soon as it gets to "When She Loved Me" from Toy Story 2,
Oh,
I'm gonna be, and then follow that up with "Remember Me" from Coco.
tearjerker.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a wreck. I'm gonna be a wreck. But luckily, we're gonna get some "I See the Light" from Tangled to cheer everyone up, and a big original song finale about the great symphony of life called "Beating of Our Hearts." Yes, it's a pretty classic arc for a Steve Davidson production. If you know him, he's in charge of most of the big live entertainment productions you see at Disney. He got his start with Light Magic and somehow survived that and went on to do everything from Wishes to my favorite, Remember, Dreams Come True, Disneyland Forever, you name it. He did not do the Illuminations Reflections of Earth, but he did do Harmonious. And they brought him back for this, which is kind of a do-over for Harmonious, because I think
Yeah,
if Harmonious had done what they wanted, we would have seen that for another 10 or 20 years. But the fact that they invested money on making that such a short-lived production kind of tells you what the
very
guest
telling.
feedback might have been on that one.
And most importantly, we don't have eyesores.
No, we have concept art showing lots of fireworks and fountains and things bursting in the air, but we don't have a giant metal ring that's going to sit in the center of World Showcase Lagoon all day and all night. So that is yay.
And good news for people doing private events, because I cannot imagine if you are having a dessert party, on the Italy island and you have
Mm-hmm.
those things in your background of your pictures.
Oh, right. Sure, sure. Well, if you want to see and hear a little bit more, there is a first look video up with a link on our website. And we will see you and a billion other Disney fans at Epcot on December 5th
Oh,
when
yes.
this launches. MEI and Mouse Fan Travel can always help you get there for the show. All right, even more Disney news. Disney Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point is the new private island destination that is launching, welcoming guests in June in 2024. And we have some more information about it.
Yes, I'm so excited. I love Castaway so much. I just was working on like a guide to Castaway and kind of went down like a trip down memory lane through my old photos looking there. They do such a great job. If you've, ever been on a cruise to the private islands, there's a certain intimate feel to Disney's private islands that's a little bit different than Royal, even though I love Royal Caribbean's or Holland America and Princess. It's just that kind of Disney magic, but in a very relaxed way.
I have to absolutely agree. I've done all the major
Mhm.
cruise lines, private islands in the Bahamas, and no one does it like Disney. I'm also a big fan of MSCs for the opposite reason, because it has hardly any amenities. It doesn't have any kid-friendly anything. It is just like kind of like a deserted island, which I kind of
Yeah.
love. But if you want the all-out luxury experience, with Disney quality attention to detail, there's nothing like ocean, or there's nothing like their original island, except their second island,
Yes.
which it's similar. It kind of looks similar to the way that Alani celebrates Hawaiian culture.
Mhm.
They really have infused Bahamian culture and art and language into this experience, starting with Mabrika Cove, because Mabrika means welcome in the language of the Lucayans, which is the First Nations people of the Bahamas before Columbus's arrival. So that is the name they have given to the area where you will disembark the ship and pass through a cultural center, which is going to pay tribute to Bahamian art and dance and culture.
Yeah, I love this. When I was reading through, you're going to see costumes, masks,
Hmm.
drumming, dancing, and it's going to, bring a little bit of a flavor of the local culture, which, at Castaway, we don't really get that. In some of the shops, they
Yeah.
have products, some local artisans, but it's not, a celebration of the local culture. So I'm so glad that they're doing that with this new property.
Yeah, my favorite thing about MSC is that they do a nightly Junkanoo parade, and it sounds like
Oh,
something very similar is going to happen here. Um, in addition, they've they've also got masks and costumes that are going to invite you to learn more about the the Bahamas signature festival. And in addition, there's a second area called Triton's Trumpet Stage, which is going to feature family entertainment throughout the day.
very cool. And then, of course, it wouldn't be Disney without shops.
You need
So
a gift shop. Got to have a gift shop.
And they promise that they're going to spotlight local Bohemian artists. So I'm
Mhm.
sure you can get some really good souvenirs in addition to, all the Disney branded exclusive merchandise, which you also have to buy because that's the only place you can get it.
Absolutely. I'll be honest, all that stuff sounds great to me. The place you will find me though is Serenity Bay.
Yes.
When I when I go to Castaway Cay, I pretty much do not leave the adult only area. It's way quieter. It's way more relaxing, and they always have better food. So this is, thank God, going to also be available. There's going to be a Serenity Bay on Lookout Cay. It's going to have its own dining area, yay, and
Yay.
it's also going to have private cabanas available for rental.
Very cool. Yeah. See, at Castaway, I am a Pelican's Plunge girl, so I love that
Oh,
floating
okay.
water structure with all the slides. So that's like my spot that I like to go to. But it is very chill at the adults only section. And you are totally right about the food.
Oh my God, the grilled ribeye. That's like the best steak I think I love Palos, I love Remy's, but I always
Hmm.
think the best steak I get on a Disney cruise is that open air, like, grilled
Oh,
ribeye
so classic.
at Serenity Bay. Anyway, if you want to visit this for yourself, the Disney Magic is going to be taking the first preview cruise to Lookout Cay from Fort Lauderdale. That's happening in June of 2024. And if you are super excited about this, you are going to want to check out the Disney Fantasy Double Dip cruises, which have 2 stops at Lookout Cay. One's going out, one's coming back. And MEI and Mouse Fan Travel can help get you there.
Very cool. I would love to go there twice.
Yes, I would love, please, Disney, invite us. We will write
Yes.
all about it. We'll talk all about it. And finally, a little bit of non-Disney news. The other morning, our publisher Matt was so kind to invite me to take a road trip with him at 7 a.m. out to Busch
Oh,
Gardens, Tampa, for an announcement that I passed on. Sorry, I slept in. But he was there and reported on all of the things that are new and coming soon to Busch Gardens Tampa in 2024, and starting with a new roller coaster. It is quite a lineup.
yes. New B&M is coming to Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay,
Hmm.
and it'll be the first one to have onboard audio, and it's a family coaster. So I love to hear that.
Yes,
We're getting a lot of
yes.
family coasters.
So this is an interesting. I'm trying to figure out if this lines up with an existing B&M model or if this is kind of a new model for them. I haven't been able to find an exact match in their inventory. This looks similar to rides that Vekoma builds, but
Right.
being B&M, I'm sure it will be much smoother than Vekoma. Um, so it's an inverted coaster, sort of like a Batman the Ride or Dueling Dragons for those of us who are older.
Mhm.
It's 2 seats side by side, 10 rows per train. So you've got 20 people per train. It's definitely a family coaster, top speed of under 45 miles an hour, top height of only 80 feet. It's not doing any inversions, but it's twisting, it's turning, and you're going to have some sort of soundtrack, which is still a secret right now, um, hyping you up as you go along. The only thing that kind of concerns me about this is, they've set a minimum height of only 42 inches, which makes it accessible to, tweens.
Right.
But they're only buying one train. And this is a track that's, 1,800 plus feet long. So you're going to have a fairly short ride time, but it seems like you would want one train on the track and one train
Right.
in the station loading. The Freedom Flyer at Fun Spot USA in Orlando has it is a very similar ride built by Vekoma, but similar statistics in terms of length and capacity, and they can't even get 700 people an hour through there, I don't think, because they
That's
only
really
have one
low. Yeah.
train. It kills me that the Busch and the SeaWorld parks keep building attractive rides. They build these weenies that can't handle the people who want to come and ride them. So I'm curious. I'd be curious to know the reasoning behind only having one train instead of two. Yeah, you might want to, if you want to make this part of your day, head back to Pantopia as soon as it opens, and make this a priority in your touring itinerary.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a potential operations nightmare.
I mean, we see, I wouldn't be the first. Wouldn't be the
No.
first. So, other things that you will find though at Busch this year, right across the street, Adventure Island Water Park. They recently closed for their season, but when they reopen in 2024, they're going to have a brand new family water play area called Castaway Falls. It's going to feature 111 different play elements, including three giant tipping
Yes.
buckets.
3. I don't know. When I read
Three buckets. You can't, no matter where you go, you are going to get soaked by one of these giant tipping buckets. Over 1,300 gallons of water combined, plus four water slides, soakers, spray jets, you name it. Looks like quite the elaborate play area.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I've seen maybe 2 buckets at a place, but 3
Yeah.
they're just going all about. And then what I would love to go see is an improved Kangaloon kangaroo area. So this is the kangaroo and wallaby area. So cute. And so now it's going to be getting a little bit of a refresher.
I can't believe this opened back in 2010, and I
Yeah.
swear I was there when this thing opened. I can't believe it's been 13 years.
Right.
Yeah, it's time for a fresh coat of paint. We don't know the exact details, but they say it will get a facelift that will help improve its functionality for the team members. So, maybe some changes to the gates or the infrastructure to help them behind the scenes.
Very cool.
On the entertainment side, we've got news of a couple new shows. An ice skating show is going to be coming back to the Moroccan Palace Theater next year. That's the big 1,500 seat indoor theater, the park's biggest. It goes back to 1986, and this new show is going to turn up in the summer. Don't really know any details. Right now, they're rehearsing the Christmas on Ice show. They've got a show called Turn It Up Remix that's going to run in the spring, but we're going to have to tune back in later to find out what this new summer ice show will be about.
Very cool. So I'm imagining Royal Caribbean, like their insane over the top
Yeah.
ice shows.
I mean, Busch Gardens Tampa does have a history of doing some pretty impressive ice shows, so that should be a good one to look for. And the other thing that they do great is animal shows, and over in the Pantopia Theater, they've got a brand new animal show opening up next week, November 11th. This one is called Animal Tales. It replaces the previous show, which was called Rescue Tales. It's a similar show, bringing out animals, interacting with them, telling their stories. But the previous one was dogs and cats, domesticated animals that have been rescued. This one is about the wild animals from Africa that are found throughout the park.
Yes, and I love what they said about this. So it could be a different show every single time because they're
you never know what you're going to get.
Animals every single time. So which I think is really cool.
That is the best part about animal shows, that
you don't know
if they, whether it's the animal actors show at Universal or the bird show at Animal Kingdom, it's it's always better when they don't cooperate.
Right.
That's always, those are the best shows, when they don't cooperate.
When they go rogue.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, these are all going to be coming out throughout 2024, and we will update you as more information comes out. All right, that is going to bring us to the end of our news in the queue. Before we get to this week's main attraction, it is time to hear a word from our sponsors.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at mei-travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction!
You know, there are always rumors in the theme park industry of buyouts and mergers. Disney's going to be sold to Apple any day now, right? And we hear a lot of these rumors and we're like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, this one I did not have on my bingo card and went
No.
from rumor to absolutely true overnight. Six Flags and Cedar Fair parks will merge in 2024, basically creating a giant conglomerate that can
Okay.
challenge Disney and Universal. Maybe not in terms of quality, but definitely in terms of scale and scope.
42 theme parks.
Yeah,
42.
a combined portfolio of 27 amusement parks, 15 water parks, 9 resort properties across 17 U.S. states, plus Canada and Mexico. This is a big one. This is a big deal. I
Yes.
don't think the government seems to care about the theme park industry, so I don't think they're going to see the kind of antitrust lawsuits that if there was a technology company, if this was like Microsoft and Google merging, then they'd probably say something, but I don't think.
I did see quite a few people calling for government action from this, though, I will say, on the socials.
I mean, this is, okay. Before we dig into our opinions, let's go over the facts.
Yeah.
The new company is going to be called Six Flags. So the Cedar Fair overall brand, which was a merger of, I guess, kind of two different names, Valley Fair and Cedar Park, when they originally joined forces. So that kind of brand is now being absorbed under the Six Flags umbrella, because honestly, Six Flags has a much bigger worldwide, name brand recognition, at least.
Right. But the interesting thing is it's a majority stake of Cedar Fair, and Cedar Fair's president and CEO Zimmerman is going
Yes.
to run Six Flags. So it's a little
Yeah,
confusing.
well, here's the thing. Yes, the Cedar Fair president CEO is going to Richard Zimmerman. He's going to be president CEO of the new combined company. But technically, the CEO still has a boss, which is the board of directors and the chairman of the board. And the executive chairman of the board is going to be the person who's currently the president and CEO of Six Flags.
Yes.
So
they're coming to Charlotte to be now headquartered where Cedar
yes,
Fair is.
yes. So it is very interesting. And they talk. I think it was curious in a statement. Zimmerman said, it said that we have an expanded and complementary portfolio of attractive assets and intellectual properties, which I can totally get. But they also talk about a little bit about. Says they share a strong cultural alignment, operating philosophy, and steadfast commitment to providing customers with thrilling experiences. That's a statement from Basul, who is the current head of Six Flags. And I would love to dig into that statement a little, because as someone who has visited, a place like a Knott's Berry Farm, and then turned around and gone to a Six Flags Great Adventure, I don't feel that they have the same operating philosophy and cultural alignment necessarily. And I want to know whose culture is going to win out in the end.
Yeah, I definitely thought about this a lot, talked to a lot of people. I did a piece over the weekend where I also chatted to Matt and had him quote some things. It is interesting because I am a Cedar Fair girl. I love Cedar Fair parks. I think ops are pretty decent. But I can tell you full confident, and I'm not going to hide this, I despise Six Flags parks. I never have a good experience. Their operations are terrible. Food and beverage never works out. I am deeply concerned for some of my beloved Cedar Fair parks because I ideally would like them to pull up some of the Six Flags parks, but I'm worried about Six Flags weighing down, if I'm being honest. I mean, that's just, it's hard because I don't know how you can operate this many dozens of parks and
So I'm gonna start on the bright side. And the one possible positive thing, is that they have now a much bigger pool of intellectual properties to pull from. So the idea of a Knott's Berry Farm or a King's Dominion, uh, being able to play with DC characters or Looney Tune characters, there's some possibilities there. So that's a good thing. Um, but yes, I have the exact same fears as you because I grew up. My first theme park experiences were going to Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey. And I can tell you that during the early 80s, people literally died at that park, and that was kind of some of my formative memories.
yeah.
And even as an adult, going back in the last decade or so, it's an amusement park. It's not a theme park.
Mhm.
I feel like Cedar Fair parks are theme parks for the most part, and that they
Agreed, yeah.
are, and that they each have a very distinct regional identity. I feel like a Six Flags is a Six Flags is a Six Flags, and even though one might, say over Georgia or over Texas, if you just sort of like parachuted blind into one of them and looked around, you might not be able to tell which one you were in. Uh,
Absolutely. And then you have Knott's Berry Farm, which,
mhm,
goes without saying. You have Carowinds, which leans into the Carolinas history.
yes,
It is like apples and oranges, really. I
yeah,
mean, it is
yeah,
very interesting how this is going to work. I also help, from a employee standpoint, I hopefully this impacts them for the better and not, I don't know, we don't really see often two massive companies merging
yeah.
and it's all a win-win for a lot of the workers. So
I mean, for the most part, there isn't a ton of regional overlap. There is some, um, you know, but not a lot. Like for the most part, these are, in different places. I mean, the closest, I guess, Knott's Berry Farm and Six Flags Magic Mountain.
60 miles, yeah, but
Yeah,
still like
so,
LA, 60
60 miles, but like 3 hours in traffic.
right.
You're never
And
gonna want to commute from one to the other.
yeah, I think the good thing with at least those two parks, those are like iconic for the brands.
Hmm.
Six Flags Magic Mountain is probably one of the most well received Six Flags parks and most well known,
Hmm.
and customer feedback is good. Knott's Berry Farm, of course, with the history, so I think they'll be fine. I think one of the first things they're going to do, just my guess, would be to close or sell off some of the smaller or not profitable parks. We know
I.
California's Great America, which is the Cedar Fair Park
Hmm.
outside of San Jose, they had already sold the land and have a 10-year cap. I could totally see that timeline being
Yep.
accelerated and
Accelerated.
next year shutting it down.
Yeah, I would look for in some of these smaller market, less profitable places, look for real estate deals to happen.
Right.
Um,
But then I think also largely it's going to go undetected to the average eye. Like a Carowinds, which is a high performing Cedar Fair park. I can't see much changing that the average guest would know.
hmm.
The one question definitely I know people are asking was about season passes because they're
Oh.
currently on sale for next year already
Hmm.
for Six Flags and Cedar Fair Parks. You get that early buy-in and you can go during the winter and next year. So I know some people are like, wow, maybe we'll get a pass that gets us into every park, which would be very cool.
I would say don't go buying an annual pass expecting that to happen.
Right.
They will live up to whatever the contract that you signed says, but they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna suddenly throw in another 20
No,
theme parks for free. That would be nice if it happens, but I wouldn't buy counting on that.
no. But it is
Uh,
definitely interesting, shocking. Yeah. I mean, I would say I'm hopeful and excited, but I'm unsure.
So this merger is expected to close in the first half of 2024, but like you said, I think that initially it will probably be invisible to guests. I think at least, for the first year or so, they'll probably let the existing management teams do what they're doing. But we will have to see whether a couple years down the road, whether it's Six Flags really, takes over Cedar Fair, or whether Cedar Fair is able to kind of inject more of their philosophy into Six Flags.
Yeah, I was getting a quote from Matt, our publisher, and he brought up a good point. He's like, I just really hope that they don't just slap existing attractions and replicate them and just throw it into a park. And that's like one of the big steps that they do, because hopefully we want some, fresh new things.
Yeah, I mean, the two things that we know that Six Flags traditionally loves doing with their chain is cloning rides and rotating rides. They will, build 17 Batman rides and put one in every single park. And then they will have a ride that makes a big splash and then quickly becomes very unpopular in a park. I'm looking at you, there's stand-up Shockwave from and then they will rotate it throughout their chain. So it can make a splash in a new market, and then everyone can learn to hate it over 2 or 3 seasons, and then they ship it off somewhere else. So I hope that Cedar Fair doesn't get infected by that.
Same. Yeah. I hope, like Great Adventure, they'll just not open roller coasters for days on end and without any, response or anything. Their operations are just kind of all over the place. So, I mean, that hasn't really been my experience at Cedar Fair Park. So that's, some of the cause of concerns that many people have. Yeah.
No, I mean, I can say that I have personally gotten frustrated at Knott's Berry Farm, certain roller coasters operations, watching how slow dispatches can be on a bad day, but nothing is infuriating in what I've experienced at the Six Flags Park. So, yeah.
We shall see, I guess.
We will definitely see. We will. I guess maybe this time next year, we can take a trip together to Knott's Berry Farm and see how the changes have affected it.
Fingers crossed. Such a good park.
All right. Well, I think that just about wraps up this edition. Before we close this off, let's take a look back and see if we had any comments. We had quite a few folks chime in. First of all, Mike Bingham giving a shout out to his mom. She accidentally used his YouTube page by mistake. Sorry, Cindy. Glad that you're feeling better. And Erin Murphy came back to say hey to me too, not just Carly. Thank you. I appreciate that. Saying hey to everyone. And Magic City Mayhem, I appreciate you noticing that I shaved. My wife didn't notice that I shaved. It was the whole for 24 hours. You're just like, oh yeah, you shaved. Okay. Finally, Michael Bingham, who is excited about everything, is even excited about Six Flags and Cedar Fair merging. So let's all just have a little bit of his positivity.
Yes, cautiously optimistic.
Yes. Well, thank you all for joining us. Before we go we want to once again thank our sponsors, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I want to remind everyone, please give us a rating and a review wherever you listen to us, whether that be Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I will miss you all next week, but Carly will be back with a suitable guest host, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Please be sure to follow us at attractionsmagazine.com. Search for Attractions Magazine on whatever social media platform you are using these days. Carly, where can folks find you?
Yes, I am on Instagram at Adventures by Carly, and I am on Twitter X at Carly Caramana.
I am on all the platforms at S. Kuberski, and you can find me and my books at theunofficialguides.com. And until next week, we hope you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun, and we will see you next time. Bye!